Before I start this video on Vanguard Investor in the UK, if you find any of this useful at all, please make sure you hit that like button and you subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to leave any comments and questions below this video and I will answer them. As ever, there is a full article with analysis about Vanguard Investor and comparing it to other platforms and solutions out there on the Money to the Masses website. You can find a link in the notes of this video. We can go and read through all of that and the numbers that we've crunched at your leisure. Now, Vanguard was founded in the US by John Bogle in 1975 and made its name by offering low-cost index tracking funds, which are among the best and cheapest index tracking funds that you can invest in. Vanguard is now a global brand and there are over 20 million individual investors worldwide who own Vanguard funds. Historically, in the UK, you used to only be able to buy Vanguard funds through platforms such as Interactive Investor, Fidelity, and Hargreaves Lansdown, or you had to go via a financial advisor. Now, a couple of years ago, Vanguard launched its Vanguard Investor platform in the UK. And initially, there weren't many products you could have in terms of stocks and shares, ISAs, junior ISAs, etc. But it's since expanded, and now they have a range of tracker funds which consumers can invest in directly. At the moment, you have a choice of 5 products: Vanguard's ISA, its junior ISA, its general investment account, a personal pension, and it has just launched, as I make this video, a managed stocks and shares ISA, which is aimed at investors who prefer a more hands-off approach to investing. So what happens there? It's a bit more managed. And the response, that to me is really a response, if you ask my opinion, to what was a dismal year for the life strategy funds in 2022, which I'll come on to. Now, in terms of charges for the platform, there is an account fee of 0.15% per annum, and that's on investments up to £250,000, where it's then capped. That means the maximum annual fee that you'll pay for the platform is £375, which is incredible value. Now, investors will always have to pay additional fund charges, and that averages around 0.2% per annum, which makes Vanguard still one of the cheapest investment platforms in the UK. Now, Vanguard is probably best known for its range of life strategy funds, which I mentioned earlier. There are 5 of those of varying risk that offer a blend of equities and bonds, allowing investors to target a level of risk and return that is right for them. Now, on top of that, there is a choice of 80 other Vanguard funds which you can invest in, which roughly half are equity index tracker funds. Now, going back to the life strategy funds, if you've gone anywhere on the internet, you would have seen people who were promoting those funds as a buy and forget strategy for the long term. Now, a lot of that was based upon their performance, but people didn't really understand why they were outperforming. Money to the Masses, we did a whole podcast on this, which we'll link to in the show notes, which explains when the life strategy funds outperform and when they're likely to underperform. Now, what happened in recent history, people hadn't seen the period where life strategy would underperform, and that was effectively 2022 in a nutshell. So we made our podcast before that, but 2022 was that year. It was a bit of a freak year in markets, but it meant equities and bond markets collapsed in tandem. But because they only diversify the life strategy funds with bonds and equities, and the way that they do it, you can find a link in the notes with more detail, it meant that the life strategy funds underperformed their peers. And if you ask me, the reason that Vanguard did an editorial piece in the Financial Times towards the back end of last year was probably a response to some of the criticism or the disappointment from customers who'd been used to some incredible returns in previous years from those life strategy funds. And that is why perhaps they've gone down this route of this managed ISA service. It's something else that's different to those life strategy funds. But Vanguard is still a great proposition. It offers a no-frills, streamlined investing experience for investors. And now they've given that managed service, you don't have to pick your own funds yourself or just lump for those life strategy funds. There's a bit of choice there. One of the drawbacks, of course, of the Vanguard investment platform is that you can only buy Vanguard funds. In the past, people weren't that bothered about that, but 2022 may change one or two opinions in that regard. So therefore, it's worth noting that although Vanguard is cheap as a platform, depending on the amount of money that you intend to invest, Interactive Investor, which is the second largest investment platform in the UK. It is the largest platform of its kind to have a fixed fee model. It has a number of subscription plans which charge a fixed monthly fee. And because of that, it can be among the cheapest ways to actually hold Vanguard funds, including those large strategy funds. Now, one of the plans they have is a £9.99 monthly fee, and you get one trade a month for that on UK and US trades. And subsequent trades are charged at £5.99. There's another plan, for example, where you can pay $19.99 a month and you get 2 free trades a month. And subsequent trades of UK and US shares are discounted to £3.99 each. The underlying fund charges for investing in Vanguard funds via Interactive Investor or the Vanguard Investor platform are identical. And because of this, and because Vanguard's platform fee is based on a percentage of the amount that you hold up to that £375 cap, it can mean that Interactive Investor is cheaper for those people who have significant sums to invest. We've crunched the numbers. You can see the details in that article that's linked in the show notes. We've crunched the numbers, and if you have over £80,000 to invest in Vanguard funds via a standard, and by that I mean a non-managed ISA or general investment account, then assuming you don't intend to trade more than once a month, it'd be cheaper to hold those via the Interactive Investor platform. If you want to invest in Vanguard funds via pension, then if you've got more than £104,000, Interactive Investor is still cheaper. But with all of that, you get much more choice of all of the funds that are out there if you invest via Interactive Investor, which means you don't just get limited to those Vanguard funds. So for more in-depth detail on Vanguard Investor, then make sure you check out that review that I mentioned earlier, including performance figures. So overall, Vanguard Investor is a good option. It's cheap, it's cost effective, but there are limitations that I've mentioned in this video and in the article. So if you found any of that useful, please make sure that you go and like this video, subscribe to our channel, and also check out the other links of the reviews of the other platforms that I've mentioned in the notes of this video.